Oi, monogamy and polygamy. My view is that of the animal world. In the animal world, there's various groups. For example, the sheeps are very gender fluid. So they mess around with other male sheep and then vice versa and goes on. The silverback uh, the silverback gorillas in the Congo, if they get into a fight and you lose a fight, you lose your child and your wife. You lose your entire family to that alpha uh, silverback. The crows, they stay in the child's life. Both mom and dad teaching this child, crow, baby crow, to even be more intelligent. That's why a lot of crows are intelligent because they have both parents, bro. Until they are sufficient, self-sufficient enough. Why did I begin with all these examples? And I could go on and on and on and on about the examples in the animals' worlds. Is because unlike the animals, the human animal is living in the world of ideas, is constantly trying to perfect some sort of a fantasy. It is a fantasy for us to think we're not gender fluid. It is a fantasy to think that we're not both monogamous and polygamous. It's all fantasy. You see, the animals, they don't have discussion of sex. They don't romanticize sex. Some of them even go as far as, get this, incest. Animals would have intercourse with their parents without thinking about it. That is how far this sexual sort of nature has no influence on their thoughts whatsoever. But it does have the influence in the mind of men because we are somehow separated ourselves from nature, from the animals. And we create these rules and we struggle to even hold on to them. Some people are polygamous, some people are monogamous. What are we arguing here? Should we convince the monogamous person to be polygamous? Or should we convince the polygamous person to be monogamous? This is the tug of war we're talking about. In the animal world, they just do as they want. They're ready to have intercourse with their relatives, with whatever it is, without having a conversation. So we shouldn't talk about the animals here. I think let's talk about the human being because we can bang on about the animals. Some of them are slaves to their own nature. You see, lust is very important component in the whole evolutionary system, in the whole ecosystem. Lust is necessary for the advancement of the next species or whatever species that of human species, of animal species. Lust is very important. I'll give you, I think I have spoken of the story of the Atticus, which is this little rat looking thing that lives in the bush of Australia. So they're not around our houses, thank God. So if you live in Australia, you probably would not even have come across an Atticus. It took me till last year to come almost across an Atticus, and I've been here for damn near 20 years. But the Atticus during mating season is a slave to its impulse, and it goes around having sex with other female Atticus, right? By no choice, no free will. By the way, just like the Atticus, we have no free will. But that's a story for another day. I don't believe in free will. I don't even think there is one. I don't know that there is one. I don't argue that there is one. But what I see is that there is no free will. The Atticus mates and mates going around, foregoing food, foregoing shelter, foregoing whatever, until it dies of lack of energy for mating. And that's the nature causing him to do that. But similarly to the human beings who would, so back in my grandfather's day, my grandfather was a chief. It was it was a political decision to have six wives. You see, as a chief, he can't afford going around fucking around. So they come up with the Sudanese very polygamous. Still this day they're very polygamous. He came up with the idea. So I don't want to touch another man's wife or my brother's wife So what's the best way we can go about this? But I can see that my animal urges want me to have sex with multiple women. So they made polygamy very respectable and honorable. So the Sudanese, Dinka, culture makes polygamy very honorable, and they have turned it and twisted to, if you have a lot of wives, you are somebody of high stature. You are somebody advancing the clan, advancing the tribe. Therefore, you should be looked upon with favor. You should be highly respected because you are advancing us, and the women as well. They want to be with these men from great household, with multiple wives, and with stature. And so they've taken something as simple as, I don't want to sleep with my brother's wife, and so I'm going to have three of my own so I don't have to think about his wife. If I get bored with this one, I can have this one. I can get bored with this one, I can have this one. That's the whole thinking. It's not that complicated. They have accepted that their animal nature would allow them to be polygamous, would allow them to sleep around. And so they created a whole culture around it, the culture of polygamy. And many African countries are polygamous. Now, monogamy, on the other hand, is a sort of an illusion. People do it for other people. Monogamy, people do it for other people. If you're a wife, you're trying to be monogamous for your children and your husband to protect their feelings of you showing your animal side that you desire to be with others, in which nature is sort of pushing you toward others. Likewise, when it comes to your sexuality, culture restricts you in thinking that you are one way or the other. Again, to protect some emotions from someone, either yourself or from your parents or the society as a whole. Monogamy is a choice, polygamy is nature. I would even argue too that monogamy is also nature. But what we are seeing nowadays is polygamy will rise again in the West, where the West has been delusional in fighting polygamy for such a long time. And they wonder why people have marriages that break up. Because you raise these people with Disney sort of mindset, Disney princess and prince sort of mindset. And so people expect to be with their prince and princesses forever with no intervention from another man or women. My views on this is simple. If you can love one woman, shut up about it. And you two just love each other. You two be your lovebirds. Be like the crows. Grow up and raise your child, and your child will be intelligent because he has both of you in their lives. If you are polygamous, then be respectful and upfront about it. Because some people' emotions are still caught up in the fantasies of princess and princesses and living forever after. So for me, I am what you would call a polygamist, but I would not even put a title on it. There was a time I was traveling around Australia, and some of these beautiful backpackers, bro, girls. Imagine I picked one and traveled with that one girl. We would have went through hardship, hated each other, looked at other gorgeous people that are walking around or from other countries that have qualities that we like. Oh, that accent, that girl's accent is nice, it's so posh. Oh, that girl's German accent is cute. And I can never be with them because I'm with this person here. And I got to respect their emotions. So I said, no, I'm going to travel on my own. And as I was traveling, I was having intercourse with German girls, French girls, Americans, Aussies as well. But it was different. It was a different girl at different time. Scottish girls. It was nice. Pakistanis. And what I realized was simple. If you are lucky enough, right, to be attracted to the other sex, and they also respond to you, and you like different qualities, those girls that I just sort of listed, they're all from different cultures, different background, and they carry themselves all in different manners. And that's when I had to be honest with myself. If whenever I travel or wherever I am, if I am having relations, and I mean like deep, intimate relations with each girl from each whatever background or culture they're from, I would appreciate that. And when we go our way, I'd still appreciate that. But to possess them was the issue. Possession is the issues here, not relationship. So whether you're in a monogamous relationship or a polygamous relationship, the possession, the possessiveness of the other was the issue. And I discovered it through my travels. It was something that I came across. I was interacting with life and I could not ignore it. And so most people need to interact with life. And you will see very, very much. You will see, sorry, you'll see how much nature is organized, how much it knows what it is doing. And you just have to go with the flow. And if you go against it, if you try to fight it and try to sort of assert your own fantasies onto life, when life is playing itself out, you will trouble. You will have trouble, oh. I beg, you will have trouble. And that's what most people do. They have troubles because they live in fantasies and life is just carrying on with itself.